Yo, 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 what's the dealio, y'all? You already know what time it is, man. We got another straight banger for you today. All right, we got another trade of the day. You already know what we're gonna do. Today, we're gonna be talking about AMD. All right, today we smacked AMD in the Discord, also Palantir as well. But I wanna talk about AMD. It was like in the first, I think, 15, 25 minutes or so, we smacked AMD for a nice little profit and a nice little percentage gain. All right. What do I always say? Percentage is more important than the dollar amount. All right. Make sure you're focused on the percentage and not the dollar amount. If you focus on that, you will always be profitable. All right. And another thing, winning percentages. Don't focus on every trade. I gotta win on every single trade, right? Because you could win on every trade and make $1 per trade, right? Or you could win on 50% of your trades, and when you lose $2, and then when you win, you lose $5, right? You'll always be profitable if you're doing that. So understand what to focus on. All right. With that being said, if you're watching this video, be sure to like this video, comment if you made money today, and also subscribe to the channel. And I want to shout out a couple people today real quick, man. We had the Discord. Shout out to Jay right here, Spank Micro Strategies, Cassie, right? She hit a whole bunch of base hits, almost made $100 today. All right. Qtisha Adolf Hims, 37% trade. Jeff, 38% trade. Verified. He got Palantir again. Noah hit what? Is this Palantir? Palantir, 94 and 124. Jay, another 22% trade. Palantir, Eleanor, Popilla. All right, 40%, 26%. She had 38 on Palantir. He made 975 on a day as well. Swole trades, what'd he do? 134 on an Apple put. Okay, we could do this all day. All right, we got AMD as well, 19%, 19%. This was yesterday, I believe. Oh, no, was this? Yep, AMD again. So look, y'all, shout out to everybody in Discord who being consistent, showing up, and all of that good stuff, all right? So with that being said, we're going to get into the trade of the day, all right? So let me just pull this up real quick. So as you can see, we got AMD right here. This was this morning, all right? On this trade, I made $168.37. I was in this trade for 3 minutes, all right? 3-minute trade, and I made $168. And I got 5 contracts, and I'm kind of mad because it went up a little bit. I tried to add to my position, and I did not get filled, and it came back down, right? So if I would have been able to add that extra 5 contracts, this would have been like 300, 350 or something like that. All right. But 5 contracts at 195 per contract. So 195 times 5, that's only $975 is what I invested in this trade. I wanted to take it a little bit light because it was on Friday. And then ended up selling these contracts at 229. All right. 229. And that got me a $168 profit with 37 cents to spare, and I was in that trade for 3 minutes. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the charts and I'm gonna show you exactly what we did and how we did this. All right. One of my favorite strategies. All right. So we got this is Apple. Where is AMD at? So we got AMD right here, right? All right. So we got AMD right here. Now, this is on a 15-minute time frame, right? But let's look at the 5. If we look at the 5-minute time frame, right? We look at the 5-minute time frame. Right here, we have a very small fair value gap, but it was blasting off, right? So the first 15 minutes, let me take these off. All right, so the first 15 minutes, AMD was blasting off. So 1 candle, 2 candles, and then 3, all right? And so it broke above this resistance level right here, all right? And then it went up a little bit more right here, and it started to reject, right? Now, this is the 5-minute time frame, but let's look at the 15-minute time frame. It looks a little bit different. 15-minute time frame, you can see 1 big candle and then this candle right here, okay? Once I saw this candle close, I immediately called the puts. Immediately called puts, all right? Simply because this right here is a lot of selling pressure, okay? So what we're going to do is I want you guys to see this. this right here, all this big wick right here. All right, you see all of that? That right there, hold on. That right there is what we call selling pressure, okay? So when a stock comes up, and then when a stock comes up, and then you see a big long wick like this with a small body, that means that the stock should be going the other opposite direction, all right? So I saw that and I signaled it, and then I actually took an entry right on this candle. When this new candle opened up, I took an entry right here. Okay. Actually, it was a little bit higher. It was about right there. All right. I took an entry right there. So I took my entry right there. All right. And then it did come up a little bit more. When it came up a little bit more, that's when I tried to add to the position. And it was already also overbought right here on the RSI. So we had a couple confluences that was working together, right? And then from there, it was up here. I didn't get to add, and then it started coming down, right? Started coming down. And then out of nowhere, it literally just started going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. All right. And then it was a very simple trade. Once we was right here, and then we came down here, down to this VWAP, I just decided to take those profits. All right. I was up at the time like 22, 23%. Ended up getting out right here. Okay. That was my exit. All right. That was my exit right there. And it was that simple. All right. As we could see, it did end up coming down a lot lower, a couple more dollars. But I like to scalp. Like I say, I was in this trade for a couple minutes, literally 3 minutes. And I got over a 20%, 19% return on my money in a couple minutes. I'm not mad at that. All right. So I got in right here after I saw this big candle right here that had a lot of selling pressure right here. Okay. Very small body, a lot of selling pressure. That was letting me know it was going down after we had a run up right here. And then boom, it ended up coming down. All right. So very simple trade, but that's how we did it today. All right. I don't want to make this more complex than it has to be. All right. In that first 30 minutes of market being open, you're either going to have one of three things. You're going to have a run up, you're going to have a sell off, or you're going to have a sideways consolidation. All right. So when you have a run up, you're going to have a couple things. It's either going to run up and then reject hard and come all the way the opposite direction. Or after it runs up, it's going to come down a little bit and then go back up. Or after you have a run up, it's going to come up and it's going to come down a little bit and then it's going to go sideways. Those are basically your three options. And that's the same for the downside too. When it comes down, you're going to have a sell-off. It's going to come right back up. You're going to have a sell-off. It's going to go sideways. Or you're going to have a sell-off. It's going to come back and then it's going to go back lower. All right? So when you understand that those are the options right there, it's very easy for you to get a quick scalp. And then once you get that scalp in, you can see what the direction of the stock is for the remainder of the day or see if there's a trend going on. All right. But I try to make this stuff very simple. I'm also a self-taught options trader. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't have anybody teach me that had these big words and was trying to make everything so complex. I learned this in very layman's terms, and that's why I'm bringing it to you so that way you could become a better trader as well. All right, you're gonna take L's, you're gonna win, and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, keep it simple. All right, keep it simple. Do not allow your emotions to overrun your intelligence and your logic. All right. So with that being said, like I always say, make sure you get out of your head, go get into this world because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right. And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry. All right. I'm going to see you guys on tomorrow's video. Peace.